Here we are, Jets fans at Jets 55 Mets. You'll be finding out shortly enough about that. Our 10th podcast. I hope everybody enjoyed 9 with our special guest, Joe Petruccio, him of Joey Paints, good friend of Joe Namath. A lot to talk about. We had fun talking about Joe
We had
Klecko.
we had a good time with that. That was fun. Yeah.
Great time, great artist, great talent, but very humble guy. Just the guy you can get along with. Not one of those guys who have that that skill and talent and then put their nose up to people. He's like the total opposite, very down to earth and very much a huge Jets Mets fan. And but listen, what's the word of the day? Word of the day is the initials of the day is AR. This is what we're looking at. You know, I'm not
Still
saying I was
here, still in limbo, Jeez.
what I was happy to hear is at least when they got together in Arizona, there was some candid. It wasn't a great total talking about the trade, but picking him up. But at least they mentioned that, hey, we're not asking for a number one. So it looks like they want two twos each year, and it looks like the Jets just want some kind of compensation. This guy is too brittle,
Well,
So
I think you're right. I think it's great that there's no backtrack. There's no like double talk. Like, well, we're going to see what our options are. When Lamar Jackson came loose a little bit a couple days ago, JD was right away. That's not part of our plans. I'm like, okay, so they're showing all their cards. They're all in. So it's got to be a done deal. It is. It has
I
to be.
think it is. I think it's a
But
respect thing too. I mean, JD has such a good reputation, right? So why play games with Lamar Jackson?
yeah,
You got to show good faith. Listen, we don't know. Do we know every conversation they had with Aaron Rodgers? No. So obviously they knew even 2 weeks ago when we're all like, and
yeah,
he's in the dark, whatever. They knew. I'm sure they all knew what was going down. And listen, bottom line, I'm sticking with what I said. If he joins the Jets, especially somebody, we're going to be talking about the acquisitions, the pickups.
right.
Let's not forget what I love about JD. You figured he'd be sitting there, all in on AR, but he's making moves, man, and he's
Right.
picking
Bingo.
up the speedster from Kansas City, man.
Yeah.
Listen, we're all not thrilled about Elijah Moore, but
Well, think about that though.
I'm not
That's
crying about it. I'm
That's
not
a
crying
good point.
about it.
But the thing to backtrack about Rodgers, though, think about what we're saying. The idea that Green Bay would want a one, right? Ridiculous. There's no way. This guy could be one and done, man. If guy's a one and done, what the heck is the point, right? Unless they go win it all, and we get that, that's the goal. But there is absolutely no shot that they give up a one. If they do,
I don't know.
and it's terrible. But look, I have it this way, like you just said, either two twos this year or a two this year and a two next year.
I think that's what they're doing.
Because guess what? Think about it. You're right. Elijah Moore wanted out. So they shipped him there and they got the two back for their three. Then they bring in Hardman. He replaced Moore. So essentially, what you did was you traded Elijah Moore for a second round pick, which now you could package to give to Green Bay to get Rodgers. So they're not giving up a lot. I mean, you're right. We're going to talk a little bit about these guys and their background and what's what, but I think that's plenty. I think if they do two twos this year and call it a day, I could live with that. I prefer a two this year and a two in 24, and that's it. Because the guy might not be back after 1 year.
No, listen, he doesn't know. You don't know. And one thing, if everything does get done, which it looks like it will be, we're gonna after however the season plays out, we're gonna be looking at the same BS. Packer fans have been looking at for 5 years, but I'm ready for it. My prediction sticks. I think if the Jets get him, I'm predicting a Super Bowl victory. And again, it's not only obviously a lot has to do with him, but I love the foundation. I love the moves. And just a side note, I'm going to make a prediction, Jets Nation.
Oh boy.
I feel like Becton is going to be viable this year. I think he comes in at 350, which is the only way he could be sustainable. He can't be heavier than that. I think he comes in at that way. I think he comes in ready, and I think he's going to be he's going to be found money. He's going to be a pleasant surprise for the Jets and the
Well, his
Jets fans.
life is on the line. You're right. If he doesn't do it, he's done. If he could turn it around and be viable, the guy saved his career. So I know he's got to be working hard for that. And I don't think it's anything to do with his will. It's just he's just so he's like a tree and a big one, and it just doesn't. It's just it's too big. So you're right. If he slimmed down and maybe he moves to the inside, they could, I don't know, because another guy, Tomlinson, didn't really show anything last year. So
The thing
you guys
about
got
him,
to really step up. But
the thing about him is, was he affected by the people around him? Because people forget, and everybody's always bashing the offensive line. Is JD doing enough? He's not doing enough. Every week they vote which is the best offensive line for that week. And in week 5, the Jets were voted the best line. Now, what happened? Dwayne Brown, to me, was a warrior, but he started wearing down. So as he started wearing down, Tomlinson seemed to be playing worse. And when Connor McGovern
put
started
guys in different spots, yeah.
Connor McGovern, who I like, but he's too small, is getting thrown around like a rag doll half the time. So I think that puts Tomlinson, I'm giving a little bit of a buy here, puts him on a rock and a hard place. That's why I like that acquisition they made, Cologne, that guy. He's big, he's thick. I picture him at
He's another
center.
guy. They got two linemen, right?
Well, here, wait a second. Let me.
Something. The point is, you're right. They are addressing what?
Schweitzer. I think
Schweitzer, right,
the guys they picked up are better than the guys they let go, like Feeney. Feeney was okay at best. He got beat up a little
These
bit.
guys
So,
came cheap. They didn't cost anything,
right,
So
right, right,
right.
right. So listen, what they got on guys are getting back. I mean, even the thing with the punter, it was exciting to see they got this guy. I think I liked Mann for a while, but he just was not consistent. And not only would he do that bad punt, it wasn't a bad punt every game. It was a horrible, horrendous.
He lost the game with run backs. Ridiculous,
I mean,
like you got to have hang time, or you got to angle it, or something.
He was consistently inconsistent. Just not doing his job. So to get this guy Moorhead back, I've always liked him. We liked him when he was here. He did really well. Starting the kicker again, he has a great leg. Let's bring all the little things you got to take care of, and then still picking up Lazard. I love
Lazard's a great pick. That's a good
Jets fans, watch Lazard interviews. Guy is a football guy, football mind, intelligent. He was talking about Garrett Wilson. He was breaking Garrett Wilson down, and he just can't, the route running, everything that made Garrett Wilson great. Can't wait to play with him. But I think sometimes we see these receivers as just these kind of bodies. But then when you get a really chance to see someone speak and express their football knowledge, this guy Lazard, man, watch some of his interviews. Money.
See, Vin, I look at the Jets right now as if Rodgers is a one and done. Okay, I'm doing that for my own edification, my own sanity, because even if the guy goes down halfway through the year, there's going to be issues. So you have to have a foundation where you could build beyond him, even though he's not even here yet. I know that's the ultimate Jet fan. Oh my God, what's going to happen thing. But the takeaway for me is if you're building at the same time beyond 23, you're proving it by bringing in a guy like Lazard. He's a good receiver. So you have him and Wilson as your foundation for the next 3 years, no matter what. They're both good receivers. You still have Brees Hall, and you still got Carter. 2 good running backs. So they have enough of a foundation so that even if Rodgers is there, great. They don't have the old lineman stud yet, right? Maybe it's Becton. That would be awesome if the guy comes back and lives up to what he was supposed to be. But if they can do that, Aaron Rodgers will excel. He'll be well protected. Maybe he sticks around a second year, but I don't know. If he does come in and gets it done, great. But you make no mistake about it. Yeah, he's making a lot of good moves. Odell Beckham Jr. might be next. Who the heck knows? I mean, I don't know about that one, but the guy's fast. This guy Hardman is fast. He's only 1 year, so now that's what they're going for.
when people hear about Odell Beckham, they're like, "Oh, Odell Beckham." You know what? The guy you can see has matured, did really great for the Rams. Wasn't a problem. Performed really well.
That hurt after, that's all,
He understood he had to be the number two guy, no problem. Because Cooper Cup, I mean, you can't even, that guy's just ridiculous. That's another stratosphere.
Right.
But so I'm excited if we get an Odell Beckham. Interesting enough, they keep talking about Corey Davis like he's going to be a Jets, but that's what coaches do.
No,
They
he's
keep
gone.
mentioning
Yeah.
it. But but also you want like Hardman, you want guys that have won Super Bowls. That means something. Guys that have been in the playoffs and won Super Bowls and have rings. Odell's got a ring. He was a big part. Yeah, he got hurt in the Super Bowl, but it was if they don't have him, they don't win the Super Bowl. They
He
get a ring.
contributed mightily. He did. He went to that team and helped them with Stafford get over the line. They did. He did. He was a very important piece, especially in the end there. Now, yeah, is this guy Hardman for us going to be a special piece? He was supposed to take over, as the main guy in Kansas City, right? But
Well, he was.
after the debacle there, with us and Miami, but it didn't happen. But the guy is freaking fast,
Well, the
So
guy's fast, but he's not just fast. I mean, you'll see him do better than Berrios and Elijah Mollo's end arounds. He has a more, repertoire of moves than they had. Though
yes,
I can't say that about Elijah Moore because he was showing a lot his rookie season, the last 7
he's
games.
only 2 years in. It's hard to know yet what he's going to grow
Yeah.
into.
But
And
you
I
got
think
this
with
guy,
Deshaun Watson, he's going to be good. He's going to be
right?
good.
You
We
got
get to
this
play them
Elijah.
this year.
Oh, Elijah, yeah, very young guy, but Hardman's young guy with Super Bowl rings. I mean, come on, that's
Yeah.
we can't put a value on that.
Well, you can't win a Super Bowl as a team without everybody knowing what their role is. Like you can't win a World Series if you don't know. If you have selfish players and you have a coaching staff that's only worried about how their side of the ball looks for their own, promotion as they go, it doesn't work. So if everybody's functioning the right way, he wasn't the one guy, the number one guy with the Chiefs, right? But you're right, he was a contributor for 2 rings, just like Odell Beckham was, So that is what JD is gambling on, that he's getting winners in there that know their role. If they get winners in that know their role and they believe that Hackett, along with, don't forget the O-line coach and all these extra coaches that they're bringing in, Saleh is going to have this pecking order of keeping everybody dialed into what they're supposed to do. That's very, I hate to say it, Belichickian, that's like that kind of crap, But it is. If you know what your role is, there's no surprise, And once they have the players to do it, namely the player, the freaking quarterback already, I'm a little tired of that, to be honest. I don't like the delay anymore. I get it, 100%. But once they get him in and they get things rolling, the Jets take a different tone all of a sudden, because the optics on the delay right now affects the free agents, man. It affected if you're Kalai Campbell, right? He doesn't do a show today. He's supposed to show up tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Because he gets talked into it by Arthur Blank because he's the Walter Payton Man of the Year, which is great. So the guy sells him on what a great addition he's going to be to the community. You think if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback with the Jets already, this guy would have blown the Jets off? No, he would have come in, said, wait a second, we'll talk. Who the heck is quarterbacking the Falcons now? Right? So nobody. They stink. All right, they might beat us. We play them this year too. But my point is, this guy, he got sold, and okay, good luck to you, but
well, yeah, but to me is like, you know what? Show up, man. I know. Well, he has to take an airplane. I mean, these guys make so much money. Show up, man. I mean, just to say things, and the Jets are working closely with his agent. Show up for the interview. You don't want to go. Listen. A lot of athletes you hear about. I don't know his situation exactly, being closer to home, just used to their environment. Listen, he's been
yeah,
there.
he's making a difference in his community. Maybe I don't know if he's from
Right.
there.
So yeah, it's all good. Then you know what? Then don't set up anything. Don't set it up. Or if you're gonna set it up, at least show up, man. Go through the motion.
Yeah.
But whatever. Listen,
I just think the longer it takes to get it done, the worse it gets. I know it's not a problem yet. We have until the draft at least, but if it's done, the optics to me is we're in, we're ready, we're going. They give up, like we say, they'll still have a 1 and a 2 this year. My God, if
yeah.
they have that still and Rodgers, a couple of signed old linemen, you go out and get a stud old lineman, or you draft, a defensive tackle. You got all kinds of things. You could talk about the draft in a few minutes too, but then, to me, the domino effect happened all around Aaron Rodgers with the quarterbacks, and he still didn't get it done yet. So he has to be coming, and let's go already. That's all I say.
Well, listen, whatever. I believe they got a plan. They're sticking to it. I couldn't stand when I hear Woody says we got a plan. Just shut up, Woody. You don't have anything. You don't know God. Excuse me. You don't know a damn thing. If it wasn't for your brother Chris, there would be no JD. There would be no Salah. There would be no progress that the Jets made. So I couldn't take it when he said, "Yeah, we have a
He's a horrible owner. He is. You're right. And
it's terrible, man. I'm just getting fed up. I know another buddy of mine felt like, no, he didn't say anything too crazy. Yeah, but you know what? Just simple. You're using the word "we," just annoyed the heck out of me.
I just brought up Arthur Blank, right? He's a humble, quiet guy, self-made. I think he was Home Depot, in the beginning. Guy's done something, and when he talks to somebody and he tries to, he's got some stature. This guy's a boob. I'm sorry, it's not nice to say, but he's been there a long time, and what he's doing right now. He didn't hold a card back at all. It was all in. We're going for this guy. We're gonna go for that guy, and I'll pay. I'll do this. So he's telling you you're going to pay, but pay isn't just money, right? It's draft capital. So you're telling them you want this guy no matter what, right? So by going all in and not saying, in the beginning, if they, great, Aaron Rodgers wants to come here, we're going to weigh our options, keep it quiet behind the scene a little bit.
That's what you should have said it.
Yeah, maybe they do steal a guy like Lamar Jackson, or at least attempt to do it. I don't know if he's the right move either, right? But I don't, to say that they're all in and it's not done. It's just bad business to me. It's stupid at this point that all this time has passed and it's still hanging out there. I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. But now I think what's holding it back, it seems like something that's very rectifiable. Compensation. I think they pretty much got the draft pick settled. He's coming. They understand. LaFleur almost gave him a goodbye kiss with the statements he made. It's all good. But I know. It's just like, get it.
Even the GM, their GM even said that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 1. He even said that. It's
not going to be. I think it was from the get-go. It's not going to be a 1.
Yeah, so they all know that. But there's no rush, they say, right? Because he's going to do his workouts for himself. He knows what he's coming into. I get that. But every day that he's wearing the Jet jersey, right? We get that solved. He's going to talk about name, the backstories, the energy, the excitement about now you've got at least somebody who's done something in the building. And we're still waiting for that. That's what I don't want that to drag on much longer. That's my point. I think, the dominoes, they've done a lot of good things. If they get Beckham and that's it, and then they go ahead and draft, which I want to talk about in a second, and tell me who you think they should draft. But, it's either to me going to be, if you have that 1 pick, that number 13, then you could trade it down if you think there are a lot of good players. And then you could pick up in the second round 1 pick, and then maybe you drop lower than the first to pick up the third round that you just gave up to get Elijah Moore. So you get that one back if you drop down a little. So you got to keep the 1. You got to get it done. Who, though, could they point to? And which side of the ball is the key?
You can't answer that. We wanted to do a podcast for all our fans. We didn't want to leave it too much after podcast number 9, and we're happy we're with you, podcast number 10. But it's hard to answer because right now, if you look at what the brilliant geniuses who usually know nothing, what's being said is you got those three offensive linemen. We all know those guys. Easy to probably get one of them. One will be available. Pretty much a slam dunk. But the thing is, there's still capable offensive linemen out there that could solidify a line. So is Cologne destined for the center position? Is that their thought? Looking at that other center, they want to grab.
They're both really good. Yeah.
Right. So if they grab a couple more in free agency, you kind of think they're going to go. Of course, I got to tell you, when you look at those first 32, like 8, 9, 10 of them are edge rushes. Edge rushes, defensive linemen are huge in the first 32 picks.
Right. That's the point. Will they be better served doing that?
You can't say 13 is going to be an offensive lineman, but again, you have to see what happens. I'm
saying if it's, I know you didn't mean that I say that. I'm saying if they do that,
yeah,
better be a monster, a stud, But they tried that with Becton and failed, right? So if they can trade down and get another pick and pick up a good old lineman and an edge rusher, like you just said, that also fills a hole. Don't forget, they still have to plug up the Rankins hole, I know he's inside, but that's what we were hoping with Campbell would have done,
But then again, Becton, yeah, but look at Tucker, Vera Tucker.
Yeah, he's coming back, right?
14th. So, and also if you look at the second round, there's some good offensive lineman depth in the second round, some good plays that could be picked up and be starters. So it's going to be interesting, but because they really haven't, done anything right now to but beside Solomon Thomas, beside re-signing him, they haven't really done anything. And of course, you got William things hanging over our heads a little bit. But it's going to be interesting to see if what they finish off in free agency and what they pick up and who they add to their team before the draft comes.
But you see, Vinny, that's what I want to get to. That's what I want to be. It's only a few weeks away now, This is April, man. It's coming. So the draft is April 20, I think 7th. It's less than a month away. So we should be starting to, formulate a strategy as to what is the best move. Are they going to, like I keep saying, trade down? Because if, like you saying, I know, I agree, there are a number of good additions that it's a good chance to trade out of the 13. I hear him saying, oh, we're going to get a great player at 13. That tells me he's going to trade down and get a couple of really good players, So I don't believe that for a second, But,
Well, it depends. Again, it depends if they're, listen, we did it. We did a trade to get we wanted Tucker. He wanted Tucker so bad. He got down. He made sure he was at 14 to get him.
Right.
So could be the opposite this time, that we give up the 13. Obviously depends on another team's needs. If that's available, he'll find out if it is. But it's still getting exciting. I like the depth they added on the line. Defensive line, yeah, we gotta see some things. I think you're gonna see a couple of things in the next 2 weeks. I think we're gonna have a better understanding what that draft is going to look like. And I predict, and obviously we haven't done it in a while, with a judge and jury, and we can judge and jury ourselves. I predict he signs within, Aaron Rodgers is signed, sealed, delivered within the next 2 weeks. Boom.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah. Done.
Done.
But, it's gotta happen already, because
I'm making one more, getting off track. I'm making one more prediction. Okay. I'm giving you, back then, I think Michael Carter rebounds from a very poor season. Maybe he didn't work out that hard in the offseason, but I think he rebounds. I think Michael Carter rebounds and adds some value to the Jets, because he was a big disappointment last year when Brees went down. It was, you automatically figure, well, you're going to lose a little bit, but Michael Carter, man, can't wait to see him back in. And then he comes back in and it's like, what the heck just happened, or what's not happening?
I got to tell you, I didn't like the look with Brees and Carter and I'm not a fan of Ezekiel Elliott, don't get me wrong, but the guy's been in the league, not at all, but he's been in the league, he's been doing it. You don't need to openly say, hey, we're good. Don't buy into that. Just stay quiet. do your thing and be quiet. You don't need to stoke. Not that you're going to stoke anything that someone's going to get to you, but you need to prove it. You got to go out there. Brees has to prove it now because he's been injured. He's got to go out there. If he's anything like he was, he's electric as he is with those receivers and with Aaron Rodgers back there. They're going to score, 30 friggin' points a game. It's going to be crazy if that happens.
It really should happen. And let's not forget. Can I make one more prediction, buddy? Can I make one more? This is it, man.
Pick the way, man. It's like
I think combined, this is obviously if we have Rodgers. If for some reason this thing with Rodgers doesn't happen, I'm gonna move to Istanbul or somewhere else. I wouldn't be able to deal with it.
Okay.
But I take Conklin.
You just had a pretty bad earthquake, I think, in Turkey, right?
I'm still going. I'm gonna go anywhere. Anyway, I take Conklin and Uzama with Rodgers combined. They're gonna have 1,000 plus receiving yards. The two tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, God, and then
he's just gonna have to figure out. I mean, those weapons, man. You come back with a healthy Brees Hall. You got that receiver room. But if anybody could do it and figure it out, I think that's what you want a Rodgers for more than anything, more than the skill and experience and everything. He just has that way of knowing who to toss that rock to, and so that's
knowing that he's got Hackett back there too, who's got his back right? He's got his back, I mean, think about that, right? Yeah. But Hackett is right now formulating his strategies if he's going to be there, But remember, if he's a one and doneer, he's not there next year or the year after. If Hackett is still there, he must also think about this team on a building process instead of just win this year. He actually said, I think I heard him say, Woody, I want to win now. It's like, remember that one? I want to win now. Oh my God. History, Leon Hestry, right? Repeats itself. I want to win now. Rich
well, at least Woody said that. That's what I said from day one, though. It's been 23 years. So admittedly, he realizes it's not that easy. Right. So I'll give him that credit. I just wish someone would give him a coloring book, some crayons, put him in a corner of his room, and let his brother Chris handle the rest. Because I just
let your manager GM do it, man. It's like just
that's what Chris did. That Chris did really well. Is you got a guy who you can tell was going to be a great GM, and he let him do his thing.
Yeah. And that's they came up with a great coach too. They did a good job,
So and the whole organization, the coaches, the scouts, everything,
Hey, man, the bottom line though, Vin, they got a rough schedule next year too. To be honest with you, that's something that you got to be mindful of. You got the NFC East, right? You got the AFC West. Okay. Those are really strong divisions. And then you got the 6 games inside. The Dolphins are no joke, and Buffalo twice, and New England, they're always going to be good. And then on top of that, you get the gimmies you would hope of the Falcons, the Texans, maybe the Browns, now that, they got Deshaun Watson, who knows. But it is not going to be the same type of schedule they had this year. It's going to be rough, I get it. It's rough for everybody in the division. The same similar thing, and they have the benefit of last place, so they get the Falcons, they get the Browns, they get the Texans for those extra ones. But everybody's improving, but you're interlocking with some pretty strong divisions now, so you got to get to it already. I just like I say, by April 15th, tax day, right? This better be done, or I'm really mad.
Well, listen, the bottom line is too that everybody in our division has pretty much the same.
And Phil's mad. Watch out, right?
Well, we gotta do it quick. For you hear what Phil said?
Yeah.
But everybody has the same menu in our division. Some of them, the outside games are tougher. Some of them are tougher than we're having. But the bottom line is Aaron Rodgers. So one game at a time.
Yeah.
Put a shitload of points. Put a lot of points on the board. Defense. Play the way you're supposed to play, and let's go, baby. Let's go.
Excitement level, because if he comes sooner and he brings with him the energy he's supposed to bring, not just like he's going to the team. Because remember one thing, it's going to end up, it's Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. If they do well, it's not the Jets. It's like Aaron Rodgers got the Jets. I'm good with that. I don't care. That's like Matt Stafford went and they got a ring. It's okay. Brady went to Tampa Bay. They got the ring. It's not the Bucks. It is. It's the whole team. It's all good. But
Hey,
once he
listen,
comes, there's an energy that is immediately infused in the whole process that I'm ready for it. I want it to happen already. Let's go.
well,
So
all you need to know is that they were 200 to 1 to win the Super Bowl last year. Just the mention of Aaron Rodgers made it 25 to 1. Just the initial talk. I said to myself, I'm not a betting guy. Maybe I should bet a few bucks. Maybe it's still at 200 to 1, but just the mention of his name made it 25 to 1. And now with him coming on board pretty much shortly, it looks like we're looking at 14 to 1. So all you got to know is 200 to 1, 14 to 1.
yeah,
It's a quarterback driven league. He's one of the best that ever played. He probably should have had at least 2 or 3 more. It didn't happen. Maybe he gets a couple. My other prediction, what did I say so far? I'm giving a bunch of them between Becton. I'm
yeah.
giving
Everybody
them
write them down, huh?
Carter, the tight end's getting 1,000 plus. I see Rodgers 2 years with the
Good.
Jets.
I want to make sure the defense doesn't go backwards, though. That's the
Yeah,
other thing. The defense must remain and improve, which I said before. I think they're going to shoot to be number 1, not 5 anymore. And if you can build on that defense, and now you have Aaron Rodgers and some other weapons, it's a long season, man. We know that. 17 games, it's a long haul. A lot of chances for W's, but I like what they could do, even if they have a harder schedule with a guy who's been there. He's got a 700 percentage winning percentage. He's very, so that's all you need to know, right? To win 12 games or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's what you want. 11-6, 12-5, whatever. You're going to be in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, anything can happen. If you have a good D, you could run the ball, and you got a quarterback who could zip it a little bit. So, we're way ahead of ourselves, I know, but we
listen,
haven't done one. We haven't done a show, a chat in a couple of weeks.
we want to be there for our fans. I always lean
Yeah,
to
yeah.
left. You see the Namath painting.
I know.
But
We just figured, what's the point of following? Ooh, Elijah Moore this one. We want it now to happen so we could talk about the draft, which we started on, and the moving the pieces around of the rest of the free agents and the issues, and then it's down to business. I want that to happen for this team because I think the sooner they do that, the sooner you see everything take shape.
we'll be back in 2 weeks. I think we're going to be doing podcast number 11. I think we're going to have AR sign. I think there's going to be some more, free agents that JD brought on board, and we're going to have a better idea, and we'll have more fun talking about the draft. We'll
Absolutely,
have
absolutely.
more preciseness, and then I can even make more predictions.
Look out. I might even start. But I told you, mine is if the defense goes backwards, that's trouble. So I want to see them do better than 5. We'll see.
Well,
it's hard, but
interested what they do with that interior line. So it's going to be exciting to see.
now they added another DB. They're trying to get the skill set there that they can do more than one thing, but you got a winner back there, Sauce. He's done fantastically so far. So let's see what happens in year 2.
You know what? I'm actually pretty excited about the safety they signed. I like him. Charles, I like him. And
Yes.
I think that was really a big sign. People kind of goes under the radar. I think that was a big sign for them. But here on Jet
They
55,
did well last year. Their defensive backfield, they all did pretty damn well. So any additions is going to make it a heavier competition, raises the level for everyone. I think
it really did. Because actually, if you look at some of the stats for Whitehead compared to other safeties, he really didn't have that great a season.
No.
But these guys can be interchangeable in their spots and everything, so it can be exciting. But here at Jet 55, just wanted to have a little TED podcast, get things going. So, Philly boy, what do we think here? What are we talking about? Let me get my little thing.
Yeah, there's a little thing tomorrow that might be starting called, play ball, little bit of baseball, and you know, in our neck of the woods, I think Vinny is showing you guys what we're into, who we're into, and we'll be talking about that real soon, I think, you know. So
Very
look out
soon.
for look out for 55 of another team, you know. So,
Yeah,
you know,
Mets 55,
that's
but
55 innings, yeah, you know.
should be
And
exciting.
yeah, so we're looking forward to it, and you know, we'll see what
AR,
2 weeks we do it again. We'll
two
rock and
weeks.
roll in 2 weeks, man. All
Bottom
right.
line, AR, come on,
Got it.
baby. Come
Come
on
on
in.
in. The water's fine,
Get
you
on
know.
board.
The
Water.
Jersey water's fine.
Listen, so your skin
Come
turns
on
green.
now.
Your
Oh,
skin turns green. It matches the uniform. Boom, boom.
the water's green too. That's right. You
There
know,
you
no
go.
problem.
Your skin, your
Get
face.
him in here. Let's go. You know, let's rock and roll. But
All right, boys.
you got it, pal. So
All
two
right,
weeks.
Philly. See you there.
Take care.